I went to one of the early Human Potential Movement trainings. It was the idea that you could learn through experience more deeply and in a more satisfying and more memorable way by having these high-impact structured experiences in a training room. Had, and it sounds like a cliche all these years later, but had a life-changing experience where my life got better and my business got better. And that led to a career in the Human Potential Movement. I've traveled to over 35 countries. I've met 3 kings and emperor and 3 presidents. I've had an incredible life. The thing that I haven't been successful with is marriage, and particularly losing a marriage, a wife, and a family that I was really committed to. And I was beyond disappointed. I suppose I was close to depression, and certainly the most difficult thing in my life. I was living in a 15,000 square foot house in Aspen on 76 acres with 5 cars and a jet and all the toys, but I lost that which was most important to me, which was my intact family. I saw a video recently of an interview done with me in the middle of that process, and it was embarrassing to watch it. If you talk about the expression of lights on and lights off, I was lights off and didn't realize it. The Zen saying is that fish don't describe water very well, and the water that I was swimming in was one of hurt and anger and sadness. And then one day he stopped me and asked if it would be okay to ask a question. I was thrilled that finally he was saying something. So I said, of course, and the question he asked me was, wouldn't it work better to take 100% responsibility for all of this? Now, I've been teaching personal responsibility for 30 years, and to be confronted in that way, wouldn't it be useful to take 100% personal responsibility for this? That was a breakthrough moment for me, realizing that I could own it all and stop blaming my former wife, stop blaming the lawyer boyfriend, stop blaming the legal system, and just own it all. We went down to the vapor caves in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, and spent a day sitting in the mist, kind of getting all the toxins out of us, physically perhaps, but also talking about what had happened for both of us, how disappointed and angry and sad we were. And out of that, we made a pact. And the pact was, anything this painful must have some real value, or God would not have presented it to us. I found that what I needed to do, first of all, was to reconnect with my purpose for living. That, secondly, that vision of that intact family could be realized in a different way. And that fueled a real commitment to create an effective co-parenting relationship with my former wife that's been of tremendous benefit to some really amazing young people. Well, that's an identity piece. And that's an identity that serves men in some ways, or they wouldn't be holding on to it, but it severely limits us in terms of authentic self-expression and growth. So the advice is, get off it. It doesn't work. It's time to allow other people into your life, to read that book somebody suggested to you, to see that counselor, to call that phone number, to do whatever it takes to get challenged, to get through it and get onto a brighter future.